Hi, hello, and welcome back to Bioenergetics with me, Devaraj. Today I want to talk about the three basic circuits in the body that I work at opening up when I'm working with bioenergetics, with clients, or in workshops, in groups. And I'm talking about this because it's quite common for me to get a lot of inquiries where, understandably, people say, well, I've got this psychological issue, can you give me some exercises to do to correct it? Or they maybe have read Alexander Lowen or similar work, and they say, well, I'm this kind of character type, oral or masochist or whatever, can you give me some exercises to change it? And whilst I can give people exercises, what I've actually discovered over the last decade of working with people is that everyone has these circuits pretty closed. And if you get these three circuits open, then basically your life is going to change a lot. You will change from being maybe a normal or a dysfunctional individual into a highly capable individual, basically, with a lot of potential, with a lot of loving, and with a lot of capacity to really hold your ground. So let's just look at these three circuits briefly. I'm just going to turn the camera slightly down. So the first circuit I work on, and this is very common in bioenergetics, anyone from the Lowen school will also know about this, is called the grounding circuit, because most people out in the world are just not grounded, they're not really connected to the earth. When I even now just feel the soles of my feet against the floor, and I'm in a first floor flat, I can feel the connection to the earth, I can feel it as a palpable sensation. And how to get this sense of groundedness is to work from the belly, basically. It's essentially opening up a circuit, or rather clearing a circuit from the belly down through the hips, through the legs, to the soles of the feet. That circuit down both those legs from the belly enables you to feel grounded. What blocks it, what keeps it trapped and not, keeps us ungrounded and holding everything in our upper body, is this other holding patterns and the charge of energy that gets stuck in these areas, particularly around the hips and particularly around the backs of the legs. And so, we have a lot of grounding exercises that work to get you in this grounded state. And then the benefit it gives you is, you can fly off somewhere, I can go into all sorts of kind of, complex things about the universe or spiritual, whatever, complicated realms of abstract thought. But if I need to, I can just come straight back and be grounded simply by feeling my belly and the circuit down to the soles of the feet, grounded and present, basically. So this is, a very important circuit to work, particularly if you know that you have tendency to go up and think a great deal, and it's harder for you to come back in your body and be present, which frankly is a lot of people these days. The second circuit I'm working a lot is the circuit from the belly, coming up this time through the throat, up to the throat, through the thorax to the throat, essentially here. And this getting a connection here, opening the throat, getting more energy in the belly, and opening up this connection between them, basically puts you in your power as a human being. It means that you can express your individuality without fear, without so much fear of being judged, without too much overwhelming concern for what people think about you because you express. The reality is, for most people, is that from their very early childhood they learned to contract at the throat, physically and energetically, to block and hold around here, because pretty much most people learn somewhere in their early childhood or just infancy that it is not okay just to be me. It's not okay just to put it out, basically. And so, opening the throat center up is a very important thing. And it tends to sort of come around the shoulders and the neck as well. But we open up this area of the body, we open up the belly, and you allow this channel to start to flow up here. Sometimes people doing my workshops, we start to get a lot of burping and all sorts of things. I get all sorts of kind of weird effects as this channel starts to open. But what it does is it brings you really in touch with your vitality and your extrovert side, the dynamic side that needs to go out into the world and do stuff. And it's authentic to you when you get this circuit open. You're not just modeling the behavior of someone else. The third circuit that I work is from the heart, or the heart center around here in the middle of the chest, up into the head, the mind, the mind-heart or heart-mind circuit, I call it. And this for me is like the final circuit to open. And it gives you the capacity to really to be vulnerable, basically, to also talk about the parts of your life that you don't work, and where otherwise you may feel like people would judge you, and it's better to keep it locked away. It's very important, finally, that we can relate from our heart, and that we can introspect on what's really going on in our life, and what's really going on, when we take certain decisions in life. And this getting the heart center and the mind center connection going is very, very useful. What I've seen out in the world a lot is that, I came from quite a kind of new age spiritual background for many years, living in spiritual community, and a lot of people work on this circuit, but they don't have the other two circuits at all open. And so, they're very heartful on the surface and soft and loving, beautiful people, often nice people to be around, but in any kind of a drama, they're absolutely lost, and they constantly need to regulate their environment very strongly, So, it's really necessary to get some grounding going before you really start to open up the heart and go into this center. So these are the 3 circuits that I work, and if you're interested in doing this work, then do check out Bioenergetics The Journey. It's a 52-week course, which can be completed in 1 year, or it could take you 2 or 3 years, and that's totally fine. In fact, it can be useful to do it at your own rate. And it will start to open up all these circuits, as well as give you a lot of theoretical background and understanding of how to make the human personality well again, and how to make it functional, without having to think a great deal. You don't have to think a great deal in order to do this work. You don't need to understand any complex concepts from psychology. You just need to understand basic principles, and then once you've internalized that, you start to work these circuits, work different areas of your body, and hey presto, little by little, it's like your whole body comes back online, and you have your intuition, you have your capacity to hold safe boundaries, you have the ability to move out and be dynamic when you need to be charismatic, and you have the capacity to relate at a heart level what is really going on in your life. Okay, thanks for checking out this video and tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe and all that stuff, and check out bioenergetics.org.uk if you would like more information on bioenergetics and my work. Bye for now.